Welcome to Business Today. I'm your host, Pat Trotter, and my guests today are from Nye Communities Coalition. Francine Winters, thank you for joining us. And Bobby, you're also at Rosemary Clark Middle School, correct? Mm-hmm. And Josh Little, and you're at Pahrump Valley High School, correct? Mm-hmm. One of the reasons I ask you guys in is my understanding is you're the ones that actually did some of the commercials that we've been airing on TV. And I wanted, Francine, I wanted you to tell me a little bit about exactly what it is you do, okay?
Okay, I'm the director of the Methodologies project, and it is under the auspices of the Nye Communities Coalition. And what we are is a youth-driven group that does performances. We have a live show that has its own lights, sets, costumes, all that, and we tour. We also do media campaigns, graphic arts, art galleries, community murals, pretty much anything that is what we would call an environmental strategy, something that makes the community focus on a certain issue and certainly gives voice to the young people in the community. So we want the youth to have that voice and their point of view brought out. Sometimes we're educating the community on a certain issue. Sometimes we're just letting them know what kids think and feel, because we think that that's a real important piece in the whole perspective. You've got the older people and younger people, and you want to everything. These are the future, right?
Exactly. That's what I was just fixing to say.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the future, right? Yeah. Sitting right here. And my understanding, Bobby, is you had a lot to do with this last commercial, Tin Cups. And tell us a little bit about what you did.
I did the editing for it, and the voiceover. You record the voiceover, and then you have to put the pictures in order, and then you have to cut them down to the exact second with the voiceover. And it's it sounds easy, but it's confusing, and it gives you a bunch of headaches that you don't want.
And my understanding, the voiceover, you actually did the voiceover too, correct?
Yes.
So how many times did you have to do it before you got it right?
I only had to say it once to get it right, but we had to keep recording it over and over because it'll be too quiet this time, too loud this time. And at that point, we didn't know how to adjust the volumes on it. And then we wouldn't be able to move it, and it was confusing. But it took me like 7 times just to get it to where I needed it to be.
So overall, how long did it take you guys to film that commercial?
To film it?
Complete it. Let's put it that way.
Like 3 days, maybe? Like after we had all the pictures and stuff and the voiceover, and we got it all together.
But we don't meet for a whole day.
Yeah.
I mean, we rarely get a whole day. We've had, 2 sessions where we met for a whole day and said, we can't do this in the 2 hours that we meet Mondays, 3:30 to 5:30. We actually had, to fulfill this grant, we had to do 20 YouTube postings and 7 commercials. And the position was empty for a year. So I came in the middle of April. And the grant year is done at the end of June. Luckily, some of our grants are not done until the end of September. So these kids, normally we don't even meet in the summer, but these kids have been great. And there's one other girl, Jennifer Barnum, that's also been with us. And just, coming and pumping them out. And sometimes they're like, okay, we'll come on Wednesday and we'll stay all day. And it's amazing. Their commitment and dedication have been really inspiring to me.
Okay, tell us a little bit about what you've done, Josh. Now, I know you didn't do too much on this last commercial.
No, I was gone.
You've done quite a few commercials, from my understanding. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, there was one that was called Cupping Under Influence, Cupping UI, and pretty much we took a video, and I was the hands-on person for it, and it's a little parody of an old kind of trick, I guess, with cups, and you set down one cup, and you pretty much do some fancy moves with it. And we did one segment to where I was supposedly not drunk. Well, I was not drunk. It's supposed to go along with the video. So I was not drunk, and I had to do the tricks, and I did it correctly. And then there was a second segment to it to where I was supposedly drunk there. And I messed it up a lot. And behind it, though, we had to blindfold me because I couldn't actually get drunk because I'm underage.
Right.
But they had to blindfold me.
That's not the only
and then-
reason he
and
couldn't
then-
get drunk, of course. Oh, yeah, you're 21, we'll get you drunk and
Yeah.
we'll do this commercial. No, I don't think so.
But
We're
first
not
they
that
had
much of
to
method
blindfold
actors.
me. Then they had to move the cup in order for me to really mess up like a drunk person would. Because with that much alcohol in you, you can't really do the tricks with the cup as a normal person would. And I also did editing for it between the clips and also adding some, I think we'd add some images and, no images, but there was the titles, like not drunk, and then everything like that. So,
And it's my understanding that you guys have also done some radio commercials as well. Is that correct?
yes.
Tell me a little bit about what you've done on that. As far how is it to do a radio commercial?
Pretty much, I think it was the one Play It Safe,
We
right?
did Play It Safe, and we did Guessing Game.
Guessing,
Guessing
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it's not really focused on the video aspect. It's more on the audio.
Right.
We have to get in our room. We have to set up all the mics and everything, and we have to get the people into position just right. We have to make sure there is no AC, there is no talking, there is complete silence. Because if you get that background noise, it's going to mess up the entire thing. The people have to know their lines. Like she said, it has to be the right amount of volume, or else it's, what are you saying? Or stop, you're too loud. So it's a really long process, but eventually when we get done, it's really amazing. So
And have you done radio as well, Bobby?
Yeah, when we did the guessing game, I was one of the voices.
And let me ask you briefly here before we go to commercial. When you do these commercials, do you feel nervous?
every time.
Yeah,
How about you, Bobby?
yeah. It's like nerve-wracking and confusing, and it drives me insane.
You don't want to mess up
Yeah.
because you've gotten so far, and then one little thing you'd have to restart all over again.
That's happened before.
All right, we'll go to commercial and we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Business Today. I'm your host, Pat Trotter, and my guests today are with Nye Communities Coalition and the Methodologies.
Methodologies. Yes.
I think that was
Methodologies.
Francine Winters and Bobby and Josh. Josh is at Pahrump Valley High School, and Bobby is at Rosemary Clark Middle School, correct?
Yes.
And my understanding is what you guys have done over the past 6 months, roughly speaking?
Yeah, I guess, since I got back, yeah.
5, 6 months, is basically perform in. Do you perform for an audience?
Well,
or?
normally we do.
Okay.
And we have heard, because right now the focus has been so strong on getting these commercials and these uploads done, I have heard the complaint, when are we going back to theater? and I feel the same way, because that is my comfort zone. But we had to get these things out of the way because that grant was written with these as the deliverables. So we're doing that, and then we're all looking forward to going back to theater. And we have a lot of new toys in our new grant year. We're going multimedia on our show. So actually yesterday we took a little break from of doing commercials and looked at the new soundtrack and what material we might take out and what material we might want to add in. And it was really less nerve-wracking and less nervous than our days have been lately.
Got to listen to
Music.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, Bobby and Josh, both. When you perform for a commercial, is it different for you than when you're performing live in front of an audience?
Yeah, because if you're performing for a commercial, if you screw up, you can take it, you can edit it out. If you screw up in front of an audience, you just screwed up in front of an audience.
Of your peers.
Yes.
Okay. And how about you, Josh?
Pretty much that, because theater, you're in front of people. And with those eyes and everything, I mean, with all the reaction that you get. We go on there, if we don't get a laugh at this one part, we're like, oh, did we mess up or something? This is usually funny. But when we go to commercials and editing like that, it's only our close friends that look at us and a screen. So it's a lot easier, but I think the theater, it gives more experience and fun to it because you actually work with people and not machinery.
And my understanding from when I talked to Francie, what was it, 2 weeks ago, I guess it was. My understanding is you guys have basically built a whole new theater.
Well, we're working on that part.
That's
Yeah.
what I was saying. Tell me a little bit about that. And I presume you're working on that as well, correct, both of you?
Well, they've seen the pictures.
Yeah. Kind of helped out with it.
Yeah.
And my understanding, we had talked a little about this at the break. Are both of you planning on pursuing media as your something you want to do later in life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and expand a little bit on that. What would you like to do with it?
When since I was in like 3rd grade, I've always wanted to be an author and director because I like to work with the editing equipment and I like to be in charge of people. And I really like to write. I write all the time.
Okay, Josh.
When I wanted to start acting and dealing with movies and all that stuff was a little while ago, like a little bit before Methodologies. But I mean, I've grown up with going on stage and everything. My church, we do a whole lot of plays for the summer and for Christmas and things like that. And I want to focus more towards the entertainment side, like radio, television, kind of like what we're doing right now. So I've been looking for colleges that are really good on that aspect.
Now, my understanding is you're in the 12th grade this year?
Yes, I'm a senior.
Okay. And what are you going to try to go into when you go to college?
As a major, mainly like entertainment, radio, stuff like that. I found a college over in northern Arizona that actually has its own radio station and weather station I could do an internship with. And then as a minor, it would probably be theaters because that's a good backup for knowing how to act on television. So.
Correct. Now, my understanding is, with you just coming back here in April, Francie, you've only just begun as far as what you guys are going to be doing, correct?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, no, I was here, I was the original director of the Methodologies project when we started in February 2008. And then I went to Connecticut for a few years. My husband was building sets for Broadway, and I couldn't really say, no, honey, you can't go do that. So we went to Connecticut. And then when that kind of like went away for him, the coalition said, oh, you might be able to come back. And so I got to come back, which was really fortunate for me. A fine gentleman, Anthony Mendoza, took over while I was gone, and he did a lot of media for them. But then when he left, the position was empty. So yeah, that is very much the beginning. We're picking up the pieces. You know, we're looking, okay, here's what we had 2 years ago. This is the show. It's been a little dormant. What do we do with it now? Well, the first thing I had to do was we had a grant year and we had funds, and we have always wanted to make the show multimedia, and so I got to spend the money to make it multimedia. We have a digital projector, and we already had the slides from 2 years ago to fit in. But we had tried to do it on a little tiny budget, and we bought on eBay some old projectors and stuff. But now we have a digital, and we have like a little mini pad, and we can go, and it will go up, and we'll go, and it goes like that. And then we got these cool big like soft screen things. They're like shapes, and they become a screen. And we have trusses.
Green
put
screen.
Huh?
Green screen.
We have a green screen. Yeah, they're going to give us a whole room at the coalition where we put up the green screen and we put all of our equipment in one room. And we could do like live blogs. We could do all kinds of stuff. But what we need is new kids. I mean, we've got 3 kids that have been just awesome to come all summer long, and except when they abandoned us for vacations and camp and things like that.
That was predetermined.
But hey, whatever. Yeah. But what we're looking for new blood. They say new meat, so fresh meat. But yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Business Today. I'm your host, Pat Trotter, and my guests today are with Nye Communities Coalition and the Methodologies Clinic?
Project.
Thank you. and Francine Winters, Bobby with Rosemary Clark Middle School, and Josh at Pahrump Valley High School. Now, you had talked a little bit before the commercial about needing more
Kids.
students.
Yeah.
I want you to tell everybody how to get in touch with you so that they can become a part of your Methodologies project.
Okay, so we are on the campus of Nye Communities Coalition. It is on the old elementary school campus that was Mann's. And so it's at 1020 East Wilson Road, right across from the school district office, just like south of Walmart. You could come in there and they would have, you could get an application. I think the applications might be on our website as well. I know that we've given them to post them up, but I'm not sure if that's done yet. Also, we meet Mondays 3:30 to 5:30, not the first day of school though, and obviously not Labor Day. No legal holidays will we be meeting. So September 9th, they could come 3:30 to 5:30. They could show up and fill out their registration. Their parent has to sign that form because obviously we're doing performing and we're doing media, and we need a media release. That's pretty important because that's what we do. So that would be the best thing. You could also call me at the coalition.
That's what I was going to say. And
Right.
phone number there?
727-9970.
And that's, of course, 775 area
Yes,
code.
775. And my extension is 237, so lots of sevens.
The Methodologies project, a lot of that went in, correct me if I'm wrong on this, a lot of that went in to give students and teenagers, young people, something to do besides have nothing to do.
Really, mostly it came out of grants that were anti-tobacco, anti-methamphetamine,
Okay.
anti-whatever. And they grant these monies, and a lot of other organizations will take those monies and they'll hire an advertising firm. And so the money will go very small. It won't stretch very far. But for us, it stretches a great deal further. We can go out and reach our rural kids peer to peer and do a whole lot more and be a lot more effective within our communities because we're touching a greater number of lives, we think, and in a more interactive way. We don't really walk into a community and say, you need this. We walk in and we try to find out what they need, and then we work with their resources to come up with something. Do they want a community mural that supports the positive things in their community? Do they need this kind of education? A lot of times the schools will say, we need you to come in and bring your show here because we're starting to have this kind of a problem or that problem, or kids need to know. And they do learn, don't they? I mean, they learn because our kids memorize the lines and everything, so they know all kinds of things, about the statistics and the dangers of, drinking and driving. And we did a texting thing not too long ago. We have a texting simulator. Yeah.
It was scary.
Hit a deer.
What happened was,
He hit a deer. He hit a deer.
of course, that's what she remembers. Pretty much, we got in a room. We had 3 computers, one for a sequence, and we hooked up a program that is pretty much a driving simulator. And what happened is you had choices between you drove drunk, you drove distracted, or you drove normally, stuff like that. I chose to drive distracted, and pretty much it puts you with this little girl and you're driving her through the place and you have to text and do all these things, and you keep missing things though. I mean, usually because I've already had my driver's license and everything, I drive normally when I'm out on the road and everything, but when I drove in this thing, it was hard, especially with all the distractions. And like she said, eventually there was this little part, the little girl said, "Oh, look, a deer," and then here it comes on my windshield. It was really surprising.
And the thing that I really like about it is it's our young people that's doing this.
Yeah.
And what makes it beneficial to, in my opinion, is not only are you getting the word out, but it also educates you as well, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And, when you talk about the alcoholism, you talk about texting and driving, you talk about meth, these are major problems for the youth of today. And when I see people like you guys get involved in things like this, it really makes me feel good because I know that we have some future out there, okay? And that's a compliment to you guys, and it's also a compliment to you because you work,
And the coalition, I mean, really, we have wonderful support there.
you know, and would it not be for the Nye Communities Coalition, of course, we wouldn't be able to do some of these things. And you guys, now you have a focus that you can go to more or less when you look at what you're doing for college yourself, and it's a couple years away for you still, but you can plan some of your high school classes around that now. Whereas Josh, I don't know how long have you been involved with the methodologies, Josh?
3 years. I
3
think.
years. So about the time you started high school, then,
Yeah.
correct? Okay. Whereas you still have electives, I know, in middle school that you can take, and you get a little step up from what Josh had even. And it's my understanding that even though you two are almost 6 years apart,
Yeah.
you work real good together, don't you? And
Oh, yeah? That's debatable.
Well, when you think about it, though, that's what I'm saying. You do actually do some work together because it's my understanding Josh complimented you on something you did, and
Like,
for a senior to talk to a middle school
8th grade.
eighth grade, you understand what I'm saying? It gives you a little bit more insight into what's going on, doesn't it? I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out. Nye Communities Coalition has done some fantastic work here in
I
Corral.
agree. And thank you for having us. I appreciate that. That was great.
And again, Josh, I appreciate it. Bobby, appreciate it. You guys keep up the good work, and that will wrap it up.
Yeah.